All right. I aim to misbehave. Okay, so in going through the Joss Whedon stuff that I wish to go through, I've already touched on both the best and worst episodes of both Buffy and Angel. Now, when I talked Firefly, I had to basically do that all in one go because there's so few episodes that I just ranked the whole thing. So instead, since I don't have a worst episodes of Firefly to be able to do, I'm instead going to talk about something that I touched on ever so slightly in that list before, which is my major hang-up and problem with the film Serenity. And that has to do with the Operative. Now, this is not the only problem I have with this film, but it's the one that I can't get over. Some of the other stuff that I don't love, I can accept as storytelling decisions that aren't to my preference. Like the fact that we get a background and an explanation of the Reavers. I don't think that was worth the mystery of them being sacrificed because I don't think the answer is as interesting or makes them any scarier. But that's stuff that I can go, that was the decision they made. Okay, not what I would have done, but fine. What they do with the Operative, though, I feel that just doesn't work. Now, it's not the character as a whole. I actually really like the character. This was the first film I ever saw Chiwetel Ejiofor in, and he's great. I started going, I need to watch for what else this guy does, because he's really good in this part, and the character is engaging, and he's really fascinating because he's fighting for a cause that he knows he can't see the benefits of. I love the back and forth between him and Mal over those monitors after Mal has, found what he did to where Book was. And, he explains, I'm a monster. The world that I'm trying to create, I'm not going to get to live in it. Are you nuts? That's fascinating to me. I found him incredibly compelling as a character. However, it seems like the film got a little over-infatuated with him. Because he lives. He doesn't die. He doesn't get killed. And it's not that I necessarily needed the character to die, but it is not just that the film allowed him to live. The character of Malcolm Reynolds allowed him to live. So let's look back a little bit at Malcolm Reynolds. What was established about him throughout the run of Firefly? He has no qualms about killing people. This is not a Batman situation where, man, if he just kill his enemies, his life would be so much easier. No, he does. When it's the best option, he will do it. And there's a moment that even within this film that captures that really, really well. When he goes to get Anara and the Operative's there, and the Operative says, I'm unarmed, and Mal just goes, good, and shoots him. Good guy was wearing body armor, so he lived. But like that's Malcolm Reynolds right there. And that's without even severe personal motivation on top of that, which by the end of the movie, he has. He has in spades because he's lost people by that point. He lost Wash. He lost Book, who died as a direct result of the Operative himself. For all they know, the Operative was the one who killed him. And there was also all the other people there, implied to include children. And we know there were a ton of people that are dead because of this man. And yet, Malcolm doesn't kill him. This is a man who kicked a villainous crony into the intake engine of his ship because he annoyed him. And he allows this man to live. Now, I understand the thinking behind what it tried to do, because the end for the Operative that it goes for, as opposed to killing him, is to break his faith, which is what he'd been fighting for up to that point. And I'm not saying Mal wouldn't have done that. By chaining the guy down and playing for him the information that they got from Miranda, so he learns, what it was that they were trying to share with the universe as a whole, that Mal would want him to see that and understand the falsehood that he was fighting for. But I still don't buy that Mal would let him live in addition to that. So, like, first of all, I have trouble buying that this is enough to break the guy's spirit in the first place. Like, because you can look at this thing and what the Alliance did, and you can go, that definitely didn't work. I bet they probably won't try that again. And while, you can make an argument, look, somebody will try it again, and that would probably even be valid. This is one of those cases, it's really hard when films try to have a villainous character suddenly lose faith in their cause, because they usually only have time to give them one singular piece of information, go, and now your faith is shattered. And I'm sorry, people with that level of commitment don't have their world shattered in an instant by one piece of information. They don't. Even if it shakes them, it's going to take time to process and everything else. So I don't really buy that in the first place. And then, like I said, Mal not killing him after he defeats him in combat, that doesn't work. I understand there's a slight logistic thing because the operative had to be around to tell his other people to stand down. Okay. All of that might not warrant a video of me getting really irritated about it. Except they had to have the operative come back at the end and have one more scene with Mal, which not only is taking away from letting us live and understand and see the impact of the dead characters that this film killed off to give us more time with the villain who should be dead. This feels like a slap in the face. And if I don't buy that Mal didn't kill him before, in Mr. Universe's little broadcast engine room, whatever it was, I really don't buy that he let that man walk away a second time. No! No! And it's not a matter of like, oh, well, the operative's not a threat anymore. Think about what that man did. Think about what he did. Think about who he killed. Mal is just going to let that guy walk away at that point? And especially because the man himself says that, he's not really the Alliance's man anymore. So they probably won't care if he dies. It becomes consequence-free. You're telling me Mal was not going to just shoot the guy in the back instead of leaving him with a warning? I better not see you again. What? No! Shoot him! Kill him! Mal, what is wrong with you? And that is a major nitpicky issue I have with a film that, while not perfect, I overall enjoy, and a character who I like a lot, but just, damn it, man. And so that's something in this film that is otherwise pretty enjoyable for me that just drives me nuts. Am I overanalyzing? Yes, of course I am. It's Nitpick Rants. But in any case, your thoughts on this or about the film Serenity in general. Some folks gave their thoughts when I did the list, but obviously this is more targeted towards that. So whatever your thoughts are, drop something down in the comments. Let's talk about it. Chuck me a buck on Patreon and all the other stuff. Links for all that and more is down in the description. So until next time, this council is adjourned.